into the intestinal cells, just moves into the large intestine. Now at this stage, I don't even know, we can still call it chyme. So we'll call it, I don't know, chyme prime or something like that, for lack of a better term. Chyme point 2. Okay. So here in the large intestine, then some of this chyme or whatever substances are being pushed into the large intestine, then you have water reabsorption or water absorption, sorry, and also some vitamin absorption. But for the most part, water absorption is the main process that occurs in the large intestine. So once all the water and vitamin has been absorbed, as this chyme, or whatever this is, moves past the transverse colon, okay, it now becomes feces. And this feces will travel into the rectum. The rectum is the temporary storage for feces. So as feces enter the rectum, it causes the rectum to stretch. Here. Stretching of rectum induces what's called a defecation reflex. Defecation is number 2. Urination or micturition is number 1. Okay. So what this defecation reflex is, again, is the sensory neurons that relay this information back to the spinal cord. Okay. And the spinal cord sends out the appropriate motor response, mainly through the parasympathetic activities, that causes the rectum to start contracting. Right. So the rectum contracts, and also the internal anal sphincter relaxes. That's happening. So the internal anal sphincter is the proximal portion of the anal canal. Okay. So this allows for the feces to start moving into the anal canal. But because you're on a bus ride, in a car, sitting in class, and you can't really evacuate, all these feces, okay? You can be like probably prairie dogging or whatever. Okay, you're getting that sensation, but you have the ability to override the sensation by constricting. Sorry, I'm running out of space, so so you can constrict the external anal sphincter. Once you constrict this external anal sphincter, you override this whole defecation reflex until more feces enter the rectum and causes that stretching. Okay. So the internal anal sphincter, similar to the internal urethral sphincter, is lined by smooth muscle. The external anal sphincter, very similar to the external urethral sphincter, lined by skeletal muscle. So because of that, you can consciously control the activities of the external sphincter in both the urethra and the anal canal. So, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, mucosal surface, lined by what type of epithelium? function of simple columnar cells is to secrete or absorb. So simple columnar epithelium. Rectum also. Anal canal, because its function is to transport feces from the rectum out into the external world. It is lined by mucosal lining here. It is stratified squamous. What is the process that allows for all this absorption to occur in the small intestinal cells? What is the main structure responsible for that? Again, sodium, potassium, ATPs. That's going to drive this whole process of any of these absorption. How do you absorb glucose into any cells? You have that diffusion of sodium created by the sodium-potassium ATPase, right? That diffusion of sodium allows for glucose to piggyback onto that diffusion and enters the cell. And glucose then will move into the bloodstream. Amino acids the same way. Lipids, glucose, who cares? Probably the same. So that's digestion.